Good morning, one and all. Myself, Sangeet K. I am a PhD research scholar doing PhD in the Indian Institute of Technology, Roorkee, under the supervision of Kumar Roy. And I am doing this video presentation for the conference Livable Cities, London, for the topic Determination of PLOS based on delay in the free flow pedestrian speed on footpath. Footpath or sidewalk are the areas that is provided on the streets for people or pedestrians to walk from one point to another for their trip purpose. Walking is the primary mode as any person traveling along from one point to the another will have their first and the last end of their trip as walking. So in terms of the pedestrians, for the streets or the neighborhood or the urban area to be comfortable and livable, it should be the pedestrian facilities should be safe and comfortable to travel so that every person can access the footpath facility. Not only access the footpath facility, they can also travel along, and they should feel comfortable while traveling along the footpath, and it should be continuous along the stretch. While moving along the sidewalk or the footpath provided on the streets, pedestrians face certain problems or issues, and these issues are in the form of interruptions, which will reduce their movement pattern. Not only the movement pattern, it will also reduce their speed. And these issues that is created or the occurring on the streets are basically the level variation on the streets. This is basically the ups and downs on the footpath, then the encroachment of shops, vendors, vehicles, then conflict of users and vehicles accessing different land use areas. The pedestrian flow or the movement is interrupted due to the platooning and queuing of the people on the streets due to the adjacent land use activities, and also based on the condition of the footpath, and also the elements that is provided like landscape elements and the public amenities or facilities provided on the streets, which are basically the bus stops, parking areas, and the street boards, which will reduce the movement of the pedestrian on street. Any typical sidewalk in the urban context or the urban area is divided into three zones. The first zone is the frontage zone, which is actually a part along the street which is having shops along the side, and it's spill over onto the streets so that it won't come onto the second zone, which is the pedestrian zone, which is exclusive for the walking zone, and this is the pedestrian zone which is exclusive for the pedestrians to walk along. And the third one is the multi-utility zone, which is this area where parking can be provided, utility boards can be provided, planters, landscape elements also being provided for that area so that it won't come onto the pedestrian zone and doesn't interrupt the pedestrian movement. For an ideal scenario, the pedestrian passageway should be uninterrupted so that it can have a continuous movement of the pedestrian without any interruption. And it is only the ideal condition where there is no activity or encroachment onto the streets due to the adjacent land use areas. And in actual scenario, what happens is these activities and these other elements like street furnitures and the amenities are encroached onto the pedestrian walkway so that the pedestrian movement will happen like this, and which will tender to the movement and restrict the movement of the pedestrians. To understand more on the interruption that is happening on the pedestrian facilities, I have gone through the standards provided. In the US SCM, they have stated that they have not considered the volume of people entering from office buildings or subways onto the pedestrian streets. And also they have not considered the motor vehicle entering and leaving along with the sidewalk area. And they have even said that they have not considered the continuity of the walkways. And even in the Indo HCM, they have only taken the average speed, which is actually free flow speed. That is, there is no interruptions or no, that is obstruction free environment is considered. To explore more on this topic, I have gone through the methodology that is being used for calculating POLS in the USHCM, which basically based on the free flow walking speed. They have not considered the non-free flow walking speed, and they have only considered the pedestrian delay at the intersection, not at the segment of walking. And they have calculated all of this based on the travel speed, but this travel speed is not based on the delay that is happening along with the streets, but only based on the free flow walking speed. And to change that, I have remodified this methodology in like this, so that I have to consider the non-free flow walking speed, then the delay, not only the delay at the intersection, which is calculated entirely based on the USSCM, I have to calculate the delay on each segment, and both of these together have to contribute to the travel speed, which will formulate the score for the pedestrian level of service. Similarly, for the Indo HCM, I have taken the methodology, and they have used the land use pattern as one of the element for calculating the stretch PLS pedestrian flow based on maximum flow. And to change that, I have basically considered the trip purpose. The people walk along the stretch basically based on the purpose of their travel, not based on the land use. They will travel along any street or any stretch or any land use area basically based on their trip purpose itself. The gaps identified from the standards for the continuous pedestrian movement is that the evaluation is completely done for the free flow pedestrian movement, and they have not considered the non-free flow speed and the causes of delay and the impact of delay on the speed purpose, and they have not taken the travel purpose as one of the parameter for calculating the pedestrian speed. Based on the gaps identified from the standards, I have formulated the research question, which is to identify the factors causing delay in the pedestrian movement on sidewalk for their continuous flow. And my aim of this study is to formulate an evaluation methodology for determining POLS for the pedestrian facility entirely based on the delay factors that is occurring in the streets for the pedestrian movement. The scope of the study is that we will be able to identify the factors that is going to influence the free flow speed of the pedestrian on sidewalk, and we will be able to identify and study the impact of delay and its factors on pedestrian movement, which reduces the pedestrian speed while walking. And for this study, I have used perception survey and also the primary survey, which is entirely based on calculation of speed of the pedestrian for free flow and also for non-free flow, that is with delay factors into this, and hyper-testing is done for each factors. For the research, the primary data is collected from the streets of Cochin or Kochi in Kerala, where the population is actually above 6 lakhs and they have a population growth of 7.83%. 5 streets has been identified in the Ernakulam city or the Kochi city, and these are the 5 streets, that is MG Road, Banerjee Road, Marine Drive Road, SA Road and railway station roads, which is provided with having multiple or mixed land use pattern along the streets, so that we can say that we won't be able to categorize the streets based on the land use pattern, as it is having a mixed land use pattern. The survey is conducted for this identified 5 stretch based on the pedestrian speed, and the pedestrian speed is calculated for without delay factor and also with delay factor. and a stretch of 30 meter is taken without any interruptions of any kind. For a sample of 600 is taken with the weightage of 50% male and female on each street. All the factors as affecting free flow speed on pedestrian movement is considered while taking the pedestrian speed. And for the delay factor, the same kind of stretch is taken, but which is having interruptions along the stretch, and the sample size is higher, which is having 1600. The weightage is the same, and the course of delay is also considered for the while taking the survey. The selected stretch identified for the free flow survey is free from all kind of obstructions or activities, and its effective width should be that of the width of the street, and the stretch should at least have 50 meters stretch, so that we can take 30 meters stretch for the survey. For the stretch, the total width of the street is this one, and it can't be achieved due to the effect of the encroachment or the obstacles coming along the streets, by like boards, electrical equipments, landscape elements, level variations, boardings, and also street vendors. Normally, people walk around the obstructions to avoid the conflict with all the obstructions, but in some cases, they will take alternate route which will come onto the carriageway, and also along the obstructions like bus stop areas or underneath the signage board. But there are other factors that is also coming, which is affecting the pedestrian free flow, that is the conflict with vehicle to the parking area of the shops or to the accessing building adjacent building. This basically give you the idea of the conflict that's happening along the street. Then these are the conflict of vehicle with the pedestrian on streets due to the adjacent land use areas. And these are the pictures showing the alternative routes and the movement of people around the obstructions that is happening along the streets. The continuous pedestrian movement on street is calculated based on the free flow pedestrian speed and the non-free flow pedestrian speed. And the free flow pedestrian speed depend on the characteristics and the purpose of the pedestrian in using sidewalk. And for the non-free flow speed, it is the delay that is causing in the movement of the pedestrians. Free flow speed of the pedestrian on walkway depends on various factors like gender, male, female, then different age groups, then group size at which they travel, then the purpose of the pedestrian traveling. For getting the influence of these factors on the free flow pedestrian speed, we have formulated a regression equation with the dependent variable as the optimum free flow pedestrian speed and independent variable as gender, group size, to purpose, and age group. And we have taken a sample of 683 for this survey, and all these independent variable has been incorporated in the survey. For the analysis of the factors, we have tested null hypothesis for all the factors, stating that the distribution of pedestrian speed is same across all the genders, group size, trip purpose, and age group, and it has been rejected and stating that it is actually varying. Pairwise testing of each factor is taken, and from the significant value we can say that the significant level is less than 0.05, and we can say that there is a decline in the speed as the group size goes up. For the trip purpose also we have taken the testing, and we can say it is also in the decreasing form from the education, work, home, shopping, and recreation. It is coming down, and also we can see that the significant level is less than 0.05. Similarly, for age group also we have taken the pairwise analysis, where we can see that the speed of the pedestrian decreases as the age increases. From the model we can see that the various factors is having negative impact onto the pedestrian speed, so that the coefficient that is obtained is in the negative, and optimum free flow pedestrian speed equation is this one, where the x1 is gender, x2 is group size, and the x3 is trip purpose. From this equation, we will obtain the optimum free flow pedestrian speed by inputting different values for these x factors, that is the different factors that is affecting the free flow speed of the pedestrian. In actual scenario, we have to calculate the pedestrian speed. We take the pedestrian speed as such with all the delay factors into it, and we obtain the speed of the pedestrian for a particular stretch. And if we take the ratio of that, and if the ratio is greater than 1, there we can say that there is no delay in the streets, and if it is less than 1, we can say that it is having delay. And when considering the uh, actual case study, there is delay happening, so this equation doesn't give you the actual speed of the pedestrian, that is the non-free flow speed should be calculated. And for calculating the non-free flow pedestrian speed, we have to consider the delay factors that is happening, and delay is based on level variation, ups and down, unevenness, non-availability, then obstructions, different obstructions on the streets, then encroachment, various encroachments on the street, then bidirectional flow, and the conflict with vehicle based on the parking and the adjacent land use, then also the weather conditions. And based on this delay factor, I formulated the regression equation having the dependent variable as non-free flow pedestrian speed, and independent variable have taken all the four from the free flow and also the reason for delay. Here also null hypothesis is tested for the similar distribution for the delayed speed, and here also it is rejected for all the variables that is been analyzed. For delay factors also, I have done the pairwise comparison where we can actually get the hypothesis testing for the similar element based on the pairwise comparison for group size, the purpose, age group, and also for different reasons for delay that is happening on the sidewalk. And from this we can say get the value that the significant level is actually less than 0.04, which state that no, not each element is actually similar, and every element is actually varying. From the model we can see that the various factors is having negative impact onto the speed of the pedestrian. And for the equation coefficient we get that it is having negative values, so from that we will be able to obtain an equation for the optimum non-free flow pedestrian speed by incorporating each of these coefficients into the elements or the factors. And this is the equation for the non-free flow pedestrian speed, and from this equation we can get that the non-free flow pedestrian speed is actually the speed of free flow speed, optimal free flow speed plus delay, that is this one, the delay factor plus this free flow speed, which will give you the non-free flow speed. From HCM 2000, this is the equation for getting travel speed, which is entirely based on the walking speed of the segment in the free flow. And from the previous equation, we will be able to get the speed on the non-free flow walking speed of the pedestrian, with is having delay. And based on that, we will change this equation to this one. And based on that, we will be able to get the pedestrian travel speed. Different k values for different types of delay is given in this table, and also obtain the total travel speed value, and from this travel speed value we will be able to obtain the LOS factor. LOS factor for the street is identified based on the factors affecting pedestrian speed for the free flow and also for the non-free flow based on the delay factors. And in the future we can incorporate the specially able pedestrians into the delay factor for the calculations. And this is the reference. Thank you.